Hey, what's up, guys? Today we'll be doing my top 10 favorite albums. I am rocking the Warriors attire, but I'm not gonna lie, I like the Bucks more. I'm just wearing this because I don't have Bucks attire. But anyways, let's just get on to the video. Alright, so before I begin this video, I just wanted to say that these albums are not necessarily albums I've been listening to like right now, but these are albums that I think I've liked the most since maybe the period of 2019 or 2020 to like now, till the present, 2023. With that stated, let's get started with the list. The first album I have in at number 10 is The GOAT by Polo G. And this album is so good. I listened to this album so many times over COVID, probably at least 20 times. And some of the songs I've probably listened to at least 400 times, like Martin and Gina, 21, Flex, and Heartless. I probably listened to these four a lot. And also Wishing for a Hero. I think this is really underrated on the album, actually. This entire album honestly has a really good songs, like the entire thing basically. And what I really like about this album is the beats. Honestly, I think that's like true for all the albums on this list. For me, it's not really about the lyrics. I think rap lyrics are really stupid, to be honest, like most of the music I listen to. That's also why I listen to most of the music in clean. But this album is just so good, like the beats, and also there are not too many like drops, but his flow on basically all the songs is so good. And another thing I really like is that he doesn't use autotune much. Now for me, it doesn't really matter if you use autotune if you're producing really good music like someone like Travis Scott. But then what's really good about this album and him not using autotune is that it doesn't sound so unnatural. So yeah, number 10, The GOAT. Really good album, amazing beats. I love the beats on this album. And yeah, that's it. Let's go on with the next album. Number 9, Clouds by NF. Now this album is so underrated. Like it would be higher on the list I if I was actually listening to this consistently. Like I kind of forgot about this album, but when I was coming up with this list and going through like my hearted albums, I just realized like this album is so good. It's so good. Like all the songs are actually amazing. My favorite are Clouds, That's a Joke, Just Like You, Prideful's really good, Lost, Trust, and Paid My Dues. Those are all such good songs. His flow is amazing. This guy literally does not need to breathe. All right, and now I know a lot of people say he's like kind of like wannabe Eminem, but like I feel like he has his own flow, his own like type of rhythm, his own type of beats, and what he raps about is also very genuine. So like this is probably the only album where I also like really like the lyrics. They're just so good. And yeah, this album is honestly an absolute masterpiece. Like his flows are just so good, and also the fact that he produces his own beats is just like amazing to me. Like basically all these songs are almost like written, and like the beat production was by just NF, which is really amazing. And also it's his own I think record label. So yeah, this guy is absolutely amazing. He is so underrated. So if you guys haven't like listened to his new music, I know his old music was really popular, but if you haven't listened to his new music, definitely you should, because this album is so good. And at number 8, we have Hollywood's Bleeding by Post Malone. Now, this album, again, it's so good. All the albums on this list are really good. But I think what's special about this album is that this is probably the album I've listened to the most consistently. So I've probably been listening to this album at least once a month. Like not all the songs, but like at least one song in the album like once a month since 2019 or something. And this blends elements of rock, pop, and rap like so well, like unlike any other album I've seen. And it has a very like unique listening experience that I really enjoy. The album is so good. It has a lot of classics. So Circles and Sunflower, Goodbyes, wow, all classic music at this point. Just absolutely amazing music. And I think I've like consistently listened to probably all the songs on this album for some point. Like I probably listened to every song on this album at least 30 times, other than Internet, but I still think it's a good song. But yeah, this album is just amazing, and I really like what Post Malone did with this album in terms of blending rock and rap. And yeah, it just brings its like very like own unique element into the music. All right, number 7, Death Race for Love by Juice WRLD. And now this album I don't listen to much anymore just because I find like the music too sad for me that whenever I put it on, I automatically become sad. So I don't listen to this too much anymore. But I used to listen to this so much. Now I'm not saying I was like depressed before. I certainly wasn't. But but I love the beats on this album and Juice WRLD's flow, his voice. Uh, I don't know. There's just something about Juice WRLD that like I love so much. I got hooked onto his voice, and I think he's my most streamed artist on Spotify actually. Even though he's like not on the top of my list currently, he is. I'm pretty sure my most listened artist on Spotify, and I love all his music, like most of his music. So this album does have for me like a lot of fluff, but for me the run from Empty till Who Shot Cupid and Ring Ring as well, Ring Ring from like number 1 to number 14 blends like elements of rap but also like pop. And the reason why I say pop is because it's not like rap chorus, right? He actually sings. He like sings and raps, which I find absolutely amazing, right? And that for me, like sing plus rap combination is what I really like. And now with lyrics, some people might find it relatable. Honestly, I just like his beats so much and also his flow. So yeah, number 7, Death Race for Love. I listen to this so much, especially when I used to solve Rubik's Cubes like crazy. So this was like maybe 9th grade or something. So I was like 13, 14. But this album is so amazing, and I think it's almost become like an absolute classic in like the whole rap industry, whatever, like the genre. So yeah. All right, things are heating up. Number 6, we have Astroworld. Now, I really like this album for its kind of like outer space vibe. Like it's the album name is so appropriately named. Like whenever I listen to this, it's like I'm going into another dimension. And I love literally every song on this album. It's really well done, this album. I like his flow. The beats are extremely well done. I don't really like it when he brings features that are not really necessary. Like his solo songs, I enjoy the most. But yeah, this album is really good. Just like the whole outer space vibe, and like I feel like it fits many situations. Like if I'm relaxing, I can put on a song like IRP is True, and I can probably like fall asleep to the song, right? But if I'm trying to enjoy with my friends, let's say, right, I can put on sicko mode, and we all would literally go sicko mode, and it would just be a really fun time, right? So this album just has so much variation, and I think everything fits in really well. And yeah, this is just a really nice album. I listen to this quite often, like even now. And yeah, just every song is so good. All right, number 5, we have Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon by Pop Smoke. Now, I really love his voice. It's like really deep, and also he has kind of like this daggy kind of voice, I guess, almost kind of creepy. And I just really nice variety, making a very good use of his like voice as well. And the features were also really good on this album. And yeah, it was overall like a really nice pack. Like I feel like all the songs fit together very nicely, and all the songs are really good. But I definitely haven't listened to like all the songs on loop, like maybe Astroworld or Goat. All in all, really good album, and yeah, would highly recommend. All right, in at number 4, Legends Never Die by Juice WRLD. And this, I am 100% sure, is probably my most listened album of both 2020 and 2021. I have listened to probably every song on loop. I'm sure this is my most listened album of all time. So I've probably listened to this more than the number 1, number 2, and number 3 spots. Like maybe, but I have listened to those a lot as well. But I've listened to this so much, like substantially more than numbers 5 to number 10. Just the beats, his voice, almost the same thing as Death Race for Love, but just done better. I feel like Death Race for Love, what I didn't like about some of the songs was that he went plain rap on some of the songs and some were like sing rap. But this was almost like all sing rap, Except I remember in Tell Me You Love Me there was a rap verse which I did actually enjoy. It was a really good rap verse, and basically every song on this album I have listened to at least maybe 40 to 50 times, and this is probably the album I would like keep on during COVID. And like I would just vibe to it. It was just such an amazing album and a very good posthumous album actually. All right, we got second posty album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys. This album is one I've listened to again so much. I've listened to this a lot when it came out. Uh, like I can still remember myself listening to this and going to like SAT class with one of my good friends. We were going for like PSAT class and stuff. We would just listen to this album on the way, and yeah, I just have so many amazing memories with this album. And also, I used to solve Rubik's cubes a lot. I had a like really nice friend group for that. I'm still in touch with them and stuff. And we would listen to this album and just solve Rubik's cubes for like 1, 2, 3 hours, and it was just such an amazing vibe. And I like I like most of the music on this. The only songs I haven't really listened to is like these these three songs, 92 Explorer, Sugar Wraith, and I also haven't listened to Taking Shots, but every other song I have listened to quite a lot. All right, in at number 2 we have Certified Hitmaker by Lil Mosey, and I absolutely love this album, mainly because I used to listen to this so much. The AVA leak version was released in 2020, but if I'm not wrong, the just plain version Certified Hitmaker was released in 2019, and I used to listen to a lot of this music end of 2019, beginning of 2020, and even now I listen to this music a lot. And whenever I listen to this music, I just feel so much better. Like I feel so hyped that I'm just ready to jump around. Like if I listen to this before playing like a game of basketball or something, I'll probably just go crazy. Like I'll be running around so much. And this album just gets me really hyped. Like every song I've listened to probably 60 plus times. Though like as you can see, they do have pretty low plays for someone who is a professional artist. But this is just like the whole outer space vibe. His voice, I feel like, sounds a little more natural than someone like Travis Scott, but still has an outer space vibe. And he's also sounds like much younger and like a little more higher pitched, which I do enjoy for some reason. All the songs on this album are really good. I really can't recommend anything more than another. I know people are probably going to be like, oh, of course you listen to Blueberry Fago the most. Like, no, I actually haven't. Jet to the West is, I think, my most listened song on this album. This just has such an amazing beat, like the whole outer space vibe, and Lil Mosey's flow is so good. Like his flow is absolutely amazing. In at number 1 we have We Love You Tecca by Lil Tecca, and this album is again absolute masterpiece. I don't know how you can make such a good album as your like debut album. And for me, like this is the album that really got me into listening to like hip-hop music. The moment I listened to the album, I was like hooked. I've listened to a lot of these songs maybe like 500 plus times, like Ransom, Shots, Did It Again, Out of Luck, Left Right, Amigo, Love. I've probably listened to all of these songs like 400 to 500 plus times, which is a lot. But I like this album so much, and I used to listen to this a lot. Like in 9th grade, I would come back home and solve Rubik's cubes like crazy. And this album, whenever I like solve Rubik's cubes now and listen to this, I don't solve much anymore. But it's a hobby that I still do enjoy and do once in a while. But whenever I listen to this, it just takes me back to that time, and it's just such a nice vibe. It's all like really positive vibes, which I really like, and it also makes me feel like really alert and like elated. Like I just feel, for some reason, I feel kind of encouraged after I listen to this album, and I just enjoy it so much, and it always brings a smile on my face after I listen to this album. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.